Good evening, everybody, and welcome to RAMP, Real Access Motivates Progress, live Wednesday nights podcast. We are so glad you all joined us tonight, and we cannot wait to talk about our amazing topic tonight. We are talking with the amazing women from Meals on Wheels, the women in action, the girls who make it happen, and I can't wait to introduce them all to you. So, welcome to the show, ladies.
Good evening, Tina. Thank you for having us.
Oh, I am so excited to talk with you guys tonight because you guys do so many amazing things, helping Rhode Islanders have the food that they need to survive and keep going and get better. So let's go around and let everybody know who the amazing women are I have with me today. We're going to start with you, Meg.
Hi, I'm Megan Grady. I have the honor and privilege of serving as the executive director of Meals on Wheels of Rhode Island. And we're so excited to share with your viewers a little bit more about our important work tonight.
Oh, we're so excited to have you. Rebecca, how about you go next?
Sure. Thanks, Tina. I'm Rebecca Keister. I am the External Affairs and Mission Advancement Director at Meals on Wheels of Rhode Island, which means I oversee all of our fundraising and external communications / public relations.
Oh, we're so excited to have you. And Shayna, let's tell everybody a little bit about you.
Hi, Tina. Thanks for having us. I am Shana DeFelice. I am the Programs and Mission Impact Director at Meals on Wheels, which means I oversee all the programming.
Yeah, that is awesome. I am so excited to talk about everything that you guys do. Meg, give us a little overview of exactly what Meals on Wheels does in Rhode Island for anybody who may not know.
Great. Well, we are in our 53rd year of operation. Meals on Wheels of Rhode Island was established in 1969 by our founder, Joe Brown. Excuse me. And he started with 17 seniors in one route in Providence, bringing a nutritious meal accompanied by a safety check and an opportunity for socialization. Flash forward last year, we served over 350,000 meals to 3,000 participants. Those are just approximate numbers, but again, the model hasn't changed much since Mr. Brown. It's a meal accompanied by a life-saving safety check and an opportunity for socialization. And I will also add that we operated without disruption during COVID-19, and that is something that we are incredibly proud of.
That is something to be proud of because that's what people need to do the most. And I'm sure everything got ramped up during that time. So to keep you guys going was amazing. And Shayna, tell us a little bit about you guys just served your 20 millionth meal. Tell us all a little bit about that.
We did. We served our 20 millionth meal in July. The Governor Dan McKay and Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos delivered the 20 millionth meal to Mrs. Bernadette Cawley. She's a Central Falls resident, retired Central Falls city employee, and she's been a client of Meals on Wheels for 3 years. She talks about waiting to hear the horn in the driveway, knowing her driver is there. She looks forward to seeing him every day. She had us all come in the house. She had the governor there, would have kept him there for 8 hours maybe, telling him stories about anything really, anything he would have listened to. She had a lot to say, and one of them being that this is something she would remember for the rest of her life, and something that she never thought would happen to her, having the governor at her house.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, 20 million meals. Think about it. So Meg, what does the next 20 million meals look like for Meals on Wheels?
That's a great question. And it's actually something that our board of directors and our leadership team and really everyone affiliated with our organization has been thinking about. At the end of last year, so at the end of 2021, we launched a strategic planning process. It included a deep dive that focused on information gathering, understanding the opportunities and maybe some of the challenges that we had experienced in our first 52 years of operation, and things that we should consider in a post-pandemic environment. The strategic planning process included stakeholder interviews with community leaders here in Rhode Island and individuals leading similar Meals on Wheels programs across the country. We did a board survey, a staff survey. We looked at financial data. We looked at opportunities to, grow our home delivered meal program and also help older adults stay safe at home. And in June of 2022, at our annual meeting, we announced the framework for our strategic plan, Meals on Wheels 2025, planning for our next 20 million meals. So you asked what they looked like. I will share that our future is bright. There are sort of two key themes in our strategic plan. The first is really looking at opportunities to innovate and scale our more than a meal model. We already touched on it a little bit on tonight's live podcast, but it's about not only a meal, a life-saving safety check, and an opportunity for socialization. We currently serve homebound older adults, and we're starting to think who else could benefit from a home delivered meal, a safety check, an opportunity for socialization. What are other nutritional needs we can fill? What are other supports we could provide to help people age in place and live in community? So that's a little bit about that goal. And our second goal focuses on adopting a sustainable business model for our home delivered meal program. The rising cost of food, the rising cost of gas, increasing cost of labor and labor shortages. We just described the main components of our more than a meal model. So we are, as an organization, really focused on what we need to grow to meet the demands of our aging population. And we look forward to our next 20 million meals. Some of them will look and feel a little differently. We may identify new revenue sources, and we may come across new challenges along the way. But we are prepared to serve and to really move into these next 20 million meals with the support of the stakeholders, the board of directors, the donors, supporters, the volunteers, the seniors that welcome us at their home, everybody that helps us make it happen. So that's a little bit about that.
That's a lot about that, and that is amazing. And that's Miss Rebecca comes in because, as a fundraising outreach guru, that the amazing person she is over there, tell us a little bit about how that impacts you. And I know there's some great fundraising coming up and how people can get involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. We will be rethinking, of course, how we are doing our fundraising in support of the strategic plan, and especially in, helping to create sustainable business model, and scaling and innovating our model and different ways of doing our work. We will be having a fund development plan that goes along with that. But before we get to that, we have two exciting initiatives coming up this fall. One starting pre-fall actually later this week, September 1st. We're going to start airing some commercials across the Rhode Island TV channels, commercials in support of raising funds for our programming. Featuring our beloved clients sharing their stories about how our home delivered meal program has helped them stay in their own homes, how that daily delivered meal, the safety check, and the social visit with their driver has helped allow them to regain health, maintain that health, and stay in their own homes, which is, where they want to be. You're going to hear from Ethel, who prior to the pandemic was a client of our congregate dining program. And when she couldn't go there because the cafe dining sites were closed, she became a home delivered meal program client, which due to her age and health conditions really is where she should be. And she just considers her delivery drivers really to be one of her closest friends. And you'll hear from Roland, who gets dressed up in his special suspenders for his delivery driver every day, and whose commercial was chosen last year to air during a Red Sox playoff game. And he knew about it and made sure to stay tuned and see it, and told me he felt like Clark Gable when that happened. And then you'll also hear from Donna, who is, though she is, among the 91% of our home delivered meal clients, who's a senior citizen is actually among one of the younger of our clients at just 68 years old. But having lost her eyesight very early in life, in her early 40s, she became a home delivered meal program client sometime in her 50s, unable to leave the home safely, shop for her own food safely, and cook safely. And one of the most touching points she makes in telling her story is crediting her delivery driver with helping to cope with the loss of her seeing eye dog Acorn. So it's our hope that viewers across Rhode Island will enjoy hearing those stories and feel compelled to support our work that helps clients like Ethel, like Roland, like Donna stay in their own homes and not only stay, but thrive there. And then later in the fall, in November, we are so happy to have our signature fundraising event return in person this year after a 2-year hiatus due to the pandemic. It's going to be at Roger Williams Park Casino in November. That's in Providence. Wonderful location, ample parking, accessible for all guests. We're going to have wonderful Rhode Island themed food, live and silent auctions, entertainment, a very special celebrity guest and culinary demonstration person with Chef Mario from Trio Community Meals, which is actually the caterer for our home delivered meal program. So ticket information and more details will be available soon on our website. And so we hope that people will consider attending.
Oh, absolutely. I will be there. Point me in the right direction to promote what you guys do for so many. I am so there. So you can count me in on that one, and hopefully everybody from Rhode Island will join me. So I'm very excited about it. Maybe we'll even be doing some live stream. So if you can't make it, we could show you what's going on, and maybe a donation link where you guys can, call in your donations if you can't make it to the event. You can always find a way to give a donation at some point. So we will make sure we make that happen for you as well. Megan, tell us a little bit about what some of the new clientele. I'm hoping some of the disability community ended up in that little realm as how you're looking at it. So tell us a little bit about what the new clients may look like
Yeah.
what you have going on out there.
So I appreciate the question because many people don't know that Meals on Wheels can serve individuals who are disabled and under 60 through the DHS waiver program. So the waiver is something that if you're accessing, supports and services to help you age in community, to help you live at home, Meals on Wheels is a part of that. So the last time I checked, we were servicing 30 individuals who were under 60 but living with a disability. And that's why I was so excited to come on the show tonight. So if you are unable to shop or prepare for your meals, if you have issues leaving the home without support, then, definitely give us a call and you feel you could benefit from a home delivered meal. Give us a call at Meals on Wheels. I'll say our number real quick. It's 401-351-6700. That's 401-351-6700. There's tons of information on our website at rimeals.org. So that's rimeals.org. You can visit our website to learn more about the home delivered meal program. You can see the menus that we offer. We have a traditional menu, we have an Asian menu, a Latin menu, a kosher menu. So, definitely take a look. And if you have a case manager, they'll have to send authorization for you to receive home delivered meals. But we've got a talented, hardworking team in the office that makes all the logistical stuff happen. So yeah, that's a little bit about the home delivered meal program and how we are serving individuals with disabilities. Does that answer your question, Tina?
Yeah, that does. I mean, it's so great because people with disabilities need to know that there are supports for you, that this is not just for older adults. If you do receive services, I know that Megan, her team will definitely make sure that you get out there. Shayna, tell us a little bit about, I'm hoping this question is good for you, but um, tell us a little bit about how somebody can be a volunteer to be one of those delivery drivers that people are looking forward to seeing every day. How does somebody go about being one of those so they can pitch in and help out?
Yeah, we are always looking for volunteers. You can call the same number, 351-6700. There's also information on our website where you can apply to be a volunteer. It's really anybody. I mean, we'd love to have anybody. We're specifically looking right now for volunteers in Pawtucket, but can just apply right on our website. Give us a call. We'd love to have you.
Gina,
Is there a screening process in place there? Like, is there like some criteria that, I don't know, Rebecca, if that's what you were going to get into, but is there some kind of screening process?
Oh, well, actually, first, what I was going to add is we have a really exciting program through AmeriCorps Seniors starting real soon, actually very early next year, where we're going to have senior volunteers serving very specific routes in Providence to help some of our more disenfranchised clients receive additional access to health education to improve their access to healthcare. So we're also looking for people interested who are 60 years and older. Actually, I think it might be 55. It's 55 or 60 interested in volunteering in Providence. We will be conducting background checks on those volunteers. And we do volunteer training with all of our volunteers once they sign up and fill out our application.
And I'll jump in and I'll say volunteering is a great thing to do with a friend. I try and get together with our volunteers pretty often. And about a week and a half ago, I had coffee with one of our volunteers that delivers Pawtucket. And she was telling me about how her and her friend do it. And her friend likes to drive more. And she holds the route sheet and she says, okay, take a left here. And it's up here. And, and then she jumps out of the car with the meal and brings it in and visits the seniors. And, she said it's also like a nice way for her and her friend to get out together, spend some time together and do something meaningful, and then they get to know the client. So that's really nice. And she was telling me there was one woman and they just kind of felt a special connection to her. So they both go in and deliver the meal at that house. And they try and do that one last so that then they can spend an extra couple minutes just brightening the woman's day and sharing conversation with her. So yeah, I mean, volunteering is a great thing to do with a friend. I'll also add that it's a nice family activity. We have a lovely volunteer who delivers meals with her 3-year-old daughter. They come in on Wednesdays. And so it's so nice to see them together, and her teaching and modeling her daughter from a young age, how important service is and how important it is to help care for our aging population, our older adults.
And I'm sure that the seniors love to see the little ones coming around, because in case they're not next to or near their grandchildren or may not have any grandchildren or family, that they get to spend some time and be the surrogate grandparent. It is volunteering, just makes you feel good. And if it makes you feel good, it makes others feel good, because if you're smiling, everybody's smiling. But the safety check I like, because they do background check. So if you have to get a meal and you're going to be in that program, that the drivers that are coming to you are safe and they have been a background checked and they are been looked over. But I definitely recommend, because like I said, if I get into more homes, I would be volunteering and doing this. It's a little hard to get up to a lot of the homes that are not accessible.
Mhm.
But when they open it up to more disabled people, then I could go, and deliver all the wheelchair users and let them see somebody like them volunteering and do something. It makes them good. So there's no reason why you can't do it, especially in the summer. I'm sure some of the people can, meet you on the porch, meet you outside and grab the meal and have a quick conversation. It gives you something to do. It's just a great feeling all the way around. Shayna, what are some of the best things that you hear from some of the volunteers?
Oh, I mean, it's really about the drivers and the volunteers and seeing them every day. We do get a lot of good feedback about the food, and but they really enjoy seeing their faces. We get a lot of good feedback. There's one example, a couple of weeks ago, we had someone who wasn't receiving Meals on Wheels, but was a resident of one of the apartment buildings that we deliver to. And she called and said, I just have to tell you about one of your drivers. He took the time with his client and he said, you're not looking too well. How are you feeling? And she said, I'm feeling fine. He said, no, you're not, you don't really look too well. And went in the house with her and called somebody with her, called a family member, called us to let us know. And that's the other great thing about Meals on Wheels with the safety check is we're doing it. We're calling the emergency contacts. And when they're not home, we're calling an emergency contact to say, we didn't see, Mrs. Colley today or whoever. But really it's about seeing their drivers every day. They really enjoy it.
That is amazing that that they can do that and that they're regular so that they know if somebody's not looking well or feeling well or acting the way that they normally act. Because I'll tell you, some of our seniors are buggers and they just don't want to go and be checked and do the right thing. So having that other person over their shoulder going, I think you might want to check something out and let's be safe is such a great safety check. Rebecca, you must get a lot of those kind of stories being the outreach program as well.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I really have the privilege of securing a lot of our clients for our quote unquote special deliveries for when we do our March for Meals public awareness campaign each spring. We invite our sponsors to deliver a meal alongside our elected officials to help raise some visibility and awareness of our programming and the need for funding for our work. And so we ask our clients if they'd allow us to come to their home with a couple of extra people and an elected official and a sponsor, and sometimes with a newspaper or a reporter, to hopefully do a story about it. And so I talked to the clients beforehand to be able to give people, information and share their stories. And oh my gosh, it's just, everything's just amazing. And a couple of years ago, one of those clients was a woman named Phyllis. And Phyllis was just this wonderful lady. Now she lived wheelchair bound. And at the time of this happening, she was about 90. Her delivery driver, Jim, was one of her best friends. And Phyllis had at one point in one evening decided she needed something from a closet shelf. So she had gone in there and she reached too far. And so she fell over and then she could not get back up. Now, to add to this problem, her life alert bracelet was broken and she had left her mobile phone in the other room. By the time Jim arrived the next morning, she was still in the closet.
Oh, no.
She had become so severely dehydrated that medical attention was minutes away from not helping. But he was able to get her the attention only because he knew when she didn't answer the door after one or two calls, hey, Phyllis, everything okay? He had to get into that apartment right away. So he got her the help that she needed. She recovered, returned home, and she just became so grateful for that help and so attached to Jim, really, that when I called and said, would you consider possibly letting us use your story? She said, what do you need? And she graced us really with her presence in story with everything. I mean, and that's probably one of the most powerful stories we've heard over the last couple of years, but there's many more like them.
Oh, that's amazing. Meg, I want to ask you why become the executive director of Meals on Wheels? What was the churning factor to make you become the executive? I mean, I could pretty much guess it, but I would like to hear what you said.
Absolutely. So when and back in 2019, that is when I became the executive director at Meals on Wheels, Rhode Island. I had lost my grandmother in January of 2019. And then my grandfather passed away in July of 2019. So at the time that I was interviewing for the executive director role, we were also struggling as a family to help my grandparents stay at home. And we had made the difficult decision to move them into assisted living. And I actually have a pretty vivid memory visiting my grandmother and her being like, I just don't really want to be here. what if you went and you got your car, right? And you pulled up and I jumped in real quick. You could just take me home, right? And so I think about that story, and I think about how like difficult it was for my parents as the sandwich generation, right? Like they were working, raising kids, trying to care for parents. And so when Meals on Wheels announced they were doing a national search for their next executive director, I immediately thought of my own grandparents and their experience, and thought, well, maybe Meals on Wheels of Rhode Island doesn't need a national search, right? Maybe it's me, a Rhode Islander right here. Maybe I could be the one to help the board of directors move the organization into the future. That's a little bit of my origin story.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, and what does it mean to you to have gotten the position and to be the director of this amazing organization?
I really see the role as a position of responsibility. Rebecca and Shayna, the rest of the members of our leadership team, our team, they know how incredibly seriously I take the work, and how incredibly important every single one of our clients is to me. A great example of that is that probably a year ago now, I said, we all have different roles here in this organization, but we got to go out and deliver meals too. So we adopted a route in Providence. Internally, we call it Providence One. And every Thursday, someone from the office goes out, visits with the clients, delivers the meals and really experiences our mission in action. So my day is coming up on Thursday. I'm looking forward to it. We have a client on our route that's 103 years old. I shouldn't have favorites, but she's definitely one of my favorites. And I just look forward to not only doing the important work to drive the strategy behind our mission, to work with the board, to raise money, to bring the visibility of the organization forward, but to actually go out there and deliver a meal is such a special experience. I feel really lucky to have had this opportunity and to play this part in the history of Meals on Wheels and how we address aging in community, and living in community with disabilities in Rhode Island.
Yeah, I absolutely love that because all of the nonprofits should be modeled something like that because you get sometimes so big in your organization. I mean, Meals on Wheels being around for 50 something years now, that if you're not staying in tune and being and seeing those clients, you can't really run the mission because you can't, if you're not in the ground floor, you're detached from the people that you're serving. So I applaud you because I think that's so great and it keeps everybody grounded. Like I said, I treat the president as well as I treat the janitor, and everybody in between. It's the same thing, no matter how high up on the food chain you become or how high you climb up on the ladder, you're still down in the dirt with everybody else doing the day-to-day routine. And I applaud you all for that. I think that's amazing. Shayna, I'm going to ask you the same question. Why Meals on Wheels for you?
Meals on Wheels, it's a very meaningful organization. It's one that I'm very proud to be a part of. My story is a little different. I met Meg through a mutual acquaintance, and I was recruited a little bit, maybe is the word, I don't know.
Very seriously recruited by me
Very
to come to the
seriously
organization.
But I do have a little bit of a Meals on Wheels story. My children actually were delivering meals. So going back to, how to get volunteers and who can volunteer, it's a perfect opportunity for stay-at-home moms or caretakers with kids. My kids were volunteering, delivering meals, talking about Meals on Wheels all the time. And then when I told them I was going to be working at Meals on Wheels, they were absolutely thrilled because they thought I was going to be bringing home the meals for them every day. And then for the first few days when I started, my middle child, where are the meals?
That's hysterical.
I love that. That is awesome. But Rebecca, same question for you. Why Meals on Wheels for you?
Oh yeah, happy to answer. So I actually will have been at Meals on Wheels for 5 years next week.
Woo!
Yeah, I know, it's exciting, milestone here. But I was actually looking for a job and saw Meals on Wheels had this opportunity to work in fundraising and public relations, and the mission spoke to me for a similar reason, just kind of on the other side. My grandfather was 88 when he passed, and he lived widowed for about the last 25 years of his life. But we were able to have him live at home. He had 6 kids, 12 grandchildren. Almost everybody lived in the area. So we literally all took turns. I was a newspaper reporter. Half of his kids were nurses. So everybody had odd schedules. So there was always someone to take him to a doctor's appointment, always someone to make him dinner, bring him lunch. So we were able to provide really round the clock care for our grandfather. But I know that not every family is that fortunate.
Yeah. There are so many families out there that don't have kids, that don't have grandchildren, or they're detached, or the children have up and moved to other states, and they're not close by or whatever. That Meals on Wheels is so important because you're filling in a slot that's something missing in their lives, and you can be that. You could be their surrogate child, their surrogate grandchild, however they want to look at you, but you're changing the life of somebody. You're extending the life of somebody by bringing your smile and bringing a hot meal and checking on them and letting them know that no matter what, every day somebody is going to come by their house and they're going to have an encounter with somebody. That makes all the difference in the world. Think of all of the times during the pandemic that you may be able-bodied, but we were locked in our houses and we were stuck. And nobody came to see you. Nobody came by. Nobody checked on you. That days could have gone by. And if you were like Phyllis, who fell in the closet, who would have known if you weren't around or you weren't there or you weren't there? This is somebody checking on you every single day, making sure that you're there, you're alive, you're well, you're smiling, your attitude is good, and that somebody cares. So if you can find it in your heart to give a couple of hours a week, this is the organization that you want to give it to. Go change the life of somebody else. Go deliver a meal for somebody else. Bring your children, teach your teenagers to go and give back. It makes them feel empathy. It makes them care about other people other than, getting the next pair of Reeboks, or I'm probably aging myself. Reeboks probably aren't the real thing right now, but whatever, the latest thing, the latest technology or whatever. Teach them, about giving back. Teach them about giving. Teach them about, going to the next place, because it's so important that we teach our children to care as much about other people as they do their own families, because someday they may be the one that needs that, and wouldn't they want to have that karma all built up so the Meals on Wheels can come and take care of them if they happen to be in that area. Now that I'm off my soapbox, we'll get back to Meals on Wheels. But I just believe in your organization. It's so important for so many people. Okay, Shayna, I'm going to start with you on this one. I want you to give us your best plea of why somebody should get involved, either donating or volunteering for Meals on Wheels. You're all getting the same question, so the other two get a little chance to think about it. Shayna is on the hot spot.
Because we are the most meaningful organization there is. I mean, we're like you said, we've talked about, we're delivering a meal, we're doing a safety check, and we're providing that socialization for those who are otherwise isolated. And it's just so important to keep and check on our seniors.
Yeah. And just think, when they start the 55 or older to deliver, now it's seniors having a purpose to help somebody else have a purpose. So when more houses become accessible, we in the disability community could have a better purpose, because we could be delivering meals to other people who need meals, who look like us, who feel like us, who act like us, that it just makes that meal more purposeful. So, Rebecca, give us your biggest plea. We should get involved, donate, or volunteer for Meals on Wheels.
Sure. It could be any one of us who might need Meals on Wheels one day. We serve everybody, across the state from Woonsocket to Westerly, people of all circumstances. There's people who, never married, and and all their family lives away, or they did and their spouses moved on and they never had children. It's just life circumstances have brought them to a place where they're now by themselves, and they've become elderly or homebound for another reason, and we are the ones helping them to stay in their homes. And if it's not going to be us someday, it could be our colleague or our friend, one of our own family members, and we just don't know.
Yeah. Well, Meg, you know the question. Now let's hear your amazing answer.
You should come get involved with Meals on Wheels of Rhode Island because we are delivery heroes. We literally have saved seniors' lives across the state and continue to do so every day. We are more than a meal. We are a life-saving safety check and an opportunity for socialization. And I will add that we have the absolute greatest board of directors and an incredibly hardworking, talented, lovely team that operates our organization. So you come to us, you are in good hands.
And it's fun.
We do have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. Yeah, and that's the whole thing is look at these smiling faces. Would you not want them delivering a meal to your house? And if they're this smiling, you know what I mean, at this late at night when they're still moms and working all day long, you know that these are people that you want planning for your seniors, your family, your elderly. And hopefully they will be at Accessibility is Beautiful 2022 so you can meet and greet them in person and find out how you can sign up and be part of all of this, because they are invited. So hopefully they will be able to fit it in their busy schedules. But again, remember, they are delivering heroes. So they may or may not be there depending on what the schedule looks like. But we're hoping. We always have our fingers crossed, and Meals on Wheels and Ramp will always work together as much as we can. Meg, give us the website and the phone number again for those that may need it.
So to refer someone for a home delivered meal, or to potentially refer yourself, to get more information about how to become a volunteer, or to make a donation to our important work, our website is rimeals.org. And our phone number is 401-351-6700.
And that phone number and website will be in the comments below, so you can always click right there. And if you can't remember that, just message me and I can put you in touch with these fine ladies, because they are not only my colleagues, they are my friends. So I will haunt them for you if you need to. So I will put you in touch. Shayna, give us how people can give fundraising money. How can they get involved?
Oh,
Rebecca.
That might be a good question for Rebecca.
I meant Rebecca.
No worries. Same way. The easiest way to make a donation is to give online at rimeals.org. There's a nice little orange button right up in the upper hand right side that says Donate Today. Just click on it. We will be happy to take your donation.
We're always happy to take a donation, aren't we? Or be on the lookout for their commercials coming up in the fall or starting September 1st. And join us in November for the big gala that they're going to be having at the Roger Williams Casino in Roger Williams Park, correct?
Correct. Thank you.
Correct. So that will be in November. Shayna, give us all the information from your department that people can get involved.
I'm sorry, what was that?
How do people
give
get
us
involved?
the way that
how do people work at Meals on Wheels?
Yes.
Sorry. I don't know.
Yeah, let me jump in here and say that we have positions posted on our website at rimeals.org. So, whenever we have a position available, whether it's a paid delivery driver, a volunteer coordinator, community health worker opportunity, all of those are on that website as well at rimeals.org.
So if you guys are all missing this, rimeals.org is the way to donate, volunteer, be part of a team, and how would you not want these lovely ladies? So anything that you basically need, it's rimeals.org.
Mhm.
So once again, in case you missed it, rimeals.org, rimeals.org. So make sure you're clicking on that, and you can hit the orange button as Rebecca so proudly told you. Click on donate today, and if you could only give a donation, do that. If you can volunteer your time, do that. And if you can get your teenagers out and about to help out, do that, please, because we all need to give out and give back. Final words, everybody. We're going to do a 1-minute round of your final words. We'll go with Rebecca first on this one.
Final words? Anything? Thank you so much.
Anything you want.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having us on tonight. This has been wonderful. Please consider making a donation. If you don't know where to start, $9, nice round number. It's about the cost of one home delivered meal this year.
So there you go, $9. rimeal.org, $9. You've just made somebody's day by giving them a hot meal. Shayna, final last words.
Thank you again for having us, Tina. And I would just again refer everybody to the website for if you want to volunteer, if you want to donate, if you do want to get involved in becoming employed at Meals on Wheels, please refer back to our website. We're fun, we do great work, and we'd be happy to talk with you.
And Meg, you know the question again. See, I made it for you. I made you last.
I want to recognize our committed board of directors, our chairman, Corey McCarty, our vice chair, Megan Hearn, Christina Pitney, our treasurer, and Jacqueline Cotter, our secretary, who are all providing amazing leadership for our next 20 million meals. And Tina, thank you. We have tried to get this on the calendar for a few years. And I'm so happy, or not, I think 2 years now, but I'm so happy that we've had the opportunity to come on to talk about Meals on Wheels of Rhode Island, to get to know you better, and of course, to continue to promote the accessibility of our home delivered meal program that helps people stay in community, access a nutritious meal, a life-saving safety check, and an opportunity for socialization.
Yeah. I mean, Meals on Wheels is awesome. Like I said, I run my own national nonprofit, but I still give back to every nonprofit, and Meals on Wheels. Like Meg said earlier, we're not supposed to have favorites, but they are one of my favorites. So rimeals.org. Make sure you're donating. Make sure you're giving of your time. Thank you so much, ladies. I'm so glad we were finally able to make this happen. I look forward to working with you and doing everything that we possibly can together to make more rounders even happier than we have in the past together. So thank you so much for being on tonight.
Thank you, Tina.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I want to invite everybody back next week, because next Wednesday we will be talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion with none other than Tomas Avila, our Rhode Island State Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, as well as Dr. Silas Pinto, the Director for Providence. So we have two amazing men going to be talking about diversity, equity, inclusion, and how you can get involved to make a difference. And as I always say, don't just sit there, Rhode Island. Make a difference. Have a great night, everybody.
I'm Chaz Kalinda, and I'm running to be the next Rhode Island Attorney General. I practiced law for the last 16 years, 12 of them in the office of the Attorney General, so I have the knowledge and experience to do that job at a high level. I'm not here to fight for a political agenda. I'm not here to fight for a special interest. I'm here to fight for the rights of every Rhode Islander, no matter where you come from or no matter what your background is. I'll need your votes on September 13th for the primary election and November 8th for the general election. If you have any questions about where to vote or how to vote, please contact your local Board of Canvassers or the Secretary of State's office or website. I'm not running to be just another politician. I'm running to be a public servant who can serve as a much-needed check and balance on the state of Rhode Island to root out the corruption both inside and outside of our system. We need your support. You can visit my website at chas4ag.com to learn more about me. donate, or volunteer your time. I'm Chaz Kalenda, and I approve this message.
To take home the Golden Gloves, you've got to put in the work, and you've got to be tough as nails. Ashley Kalis was driven to achieve. Today, Kalis is still fueled by that same hope, grit, and determination. A mother of 3 school-aged boys and successful business owner who ran testing and vaccination sites across the state. Kalis is the fighter Rhode Island needs right now because it's time for a change. Ashley Kalis for governor.